Hey guys, this is Angad, and this is going to be the post-match analysis, post-match review of Liverpool versus Manchester City. The game ended 4-3 for Liverpool, a huge win for Liverpool, a loss for City. Finally, they're not going to be the unbeaten, the Invincibles this year, and that's a huge relief coming from a Man United fan. Our noisy neighbours are not going to be the Invincibles. They're still going to win the league, which hurts, but at least they're not going to go unbeaten, right? That's a positive, I guess. And a great game, an attacking game from both sides. 4-3, loads of goals, just amazing to watch. It was 1 a.m. for me in Japan over here. I don't know what time it was for you guys, but where you guys watched it, great. I'm sure you had a great time. It was an amazing game, amazing attacking game, and this is going to be my post-match review of the game. So Manchester City started with a 4-3-3 formation. Both teams played a 4-4-3-3 formation with slight variations, with Delph and Walker as fullback and Otamendi still centre back. For Man City, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne as midfielders, Aguero, Sterling, Sane as attackers for Man City. And for Liverpool, they had Matip and Lovren. No Van Dijk, he was unfit for this game. So they had Matip and Lovren in defence. Robertson and left back, who had a great game. Gomez on right back, who had it's not such a great game, but it still pulled it off. Then they had Diox, Chan and Wijnaldum in midfield, with Salah, Firmino and Mane up front. So the game ended 4-3. Liverpool played really well. Liverpool were basically on top in the first half, and the reason I've sort of drawn the formation this way is Man City, even Liverpool as well, but Man City like to play quite high up the pitch. They push their centre backs up front, they push their full backs really up front, and they sort of because they had possession for about 65% of the game, which is about 65 to 70 minutes of the game. So they in their Pep's philosophy, right, they push up and they play high up the pitch. That's the way they stop their counters. They win the ball back pretty quickly, and they try to box the other team in, creating loads of chances, overloading the midfield and overloading the final third of the box. A Pep team, always in his philosophy, he claims that his main job is to get his team to the final third of the pitch and then gives complete freedom to their players. So what you will always see in a Pep team is their wingers, in this case Sterling and Sane, always out wide until this point, which is about 75% of the pitch over here. Until they reach the final third, they will always be out wide. Of course, they might be pressing, defending on the flank, but once City have the ball, they have clear instructions to go out wide. But once they're in that final third, for example, if Sane has the ball here, decides to move around, Sterling will push in and come into the box. That's also one reason why these two are getting a lot of goals, because they have a lot of freedom, along with Aguero, De Bruyne and Gundogan. Actually, the whole team has a ton of freedom to get into the box, which is why a lot of them are getting a lot of goals. So Liverpool played really well. So the first thing I've written here, you may not be able to see it, is pressing. So a lot of people, including me, a lot of pundits, everybody thought that Liverpool could be the team to beat Man City, to end their unbeaten run. The main thing was that Liverpool are really good at pressing under Klopp. They press right from the off, and to defeat a Pep team, there are basically two main ways. One is you press them and win the ball back high up the field, in midfield where they're in transition, and because they're so high up the field at that point, Man City's team, it's easy to counter them. So and Liverpool have been really good at pressing against under Jurgen Klopp. They have the best record, I think, in among the top 6 sides when they play each other. That's because they press high, they press well, and they counter really well. And especially this season with Mane, Firmino, Salah, there's a lot of pace on the counter, a lot of energy, and the pretty good finishing was on the show yesterday as well. Even though Salah misses every now and then, he also scores a lot. Mane had some beautiful finishes. Firmino with that chip, oh my god, what a goal. So the pressing, they pressed right from the off. They pressed the two defenders, so you had Stones and Otamendi constantly being pressed. Ederson, good with the ball at his feet, was able to bring it out, pass to whoever player was free. They even pressed Delph and Walker if they try to join in. But what Man City do is Fernandinho, right, the midfielder, he drops deep to collect the ball whenever the centre backs are being pressed. So when Stones and Otamendi are being pressed, Ederson can always feed the ball to Fernandinho. So actually, even though Liverpool did a massive job in pressing them, Man City are so good that they were able to get the ball out from the back. However, Liverpool's pressing finally paid off. The very first goal, when Chamberlain just ran from midfield from about here, he was about here, and he ran to this place and then took a shot, which Ederson should have really saved. but he was too slow. He was jumping up. He was too slow getting down the ground to save the ball. But that all stemmed from Firmino pressing and winning a ball here, and eventually the ball landing at Chamberlain, who drive past three Man City players to take the shot, which went in, thankfully. Yay. So the pressing really paid off for Liverpool, especially in the first half. It ended 1-1 with City getting sort of a lucky goal, with Walker pinging the ball across to Sane, who beat Gomez, who completely misjudged the ball, and who drove into the box, and then scored at the near post of Karius, who should have really saved it. Liverpool's giant problem has been defense and goalkeepers for the last 2-3 years, and they've not fixed it at all. They finally spent some money on a very promising defender called Van Dijk, 75 million. They wanted him in the summer, but they just messed up by trying to tap up the player before they made an offer, which really pissed Southampton off. So they finally got him. It would have been much better for them. I'm a United fan, so I don't really care that they didn't get him in the summer. But it would have been really good for them if they got in the summer. They might actually be higher than Man United in the table because of that. But anyways, who cares? They got him now. He was unfit for the game. He'll play eventually. But they also need a new goalkeeper. They need a much better goalkeeper if they want to mount a title challenge next year. And they need better defenders as well. Just one defender is not going to solve their problem. Also, Chan is most likely going to leave for Juventus, and he was immense in this game, completely blocking most of City's attacks, regaining possession in midfield when City had the ball from De Bruyne, from Gundogan. So it was just a fascinating game. And so the first goal came from pressing. The second goal, the Man City's first goal came Sane beating Gomez and dribbling well in the box and shooting from near post. The second half started. Liverpool kept pressing, though City were on top in the beginning. As I said, they had 65% of possession, so they had a lot of ball. They started boxing Liverpool into the box. Liverpool managed to get a couple of corners, get some shots off, get some confidence back, and started getting their pressing working. Now, a lot of you guys watching might be thinking like, why doesn't every team just press City all the time? Isn't it so easy? Bristol City did it a little bit well actually. Shakhtar Donetsk, when they beat them in Champions League, they pressed well as well, and they scored, which is very important. I'm going to come to that. So it's easy to press, easy to say to press, but really hard to do because it takes a lot of energy out of the team, and you got to press together. You got to press well together, which is what Liverpool really do well. Even Robertson, their left back, was pressing all over. He was pressing here. At some point, he was pressing Fabian Delph, or like he was on the other wing pressing, Sane when Sane had the ball. So they were really energized, Liverpool, and they do this every game, almost every game, especially against the big sides. So they're used to this. They're used to pressing, just like even Man City are used to pressing to win the ball back. A team like Man United can pull it off in games, but you need to score, right? Because otherwise you get drained and you don't see any purpose in pressing, and you drop deeper and deeper, which is what happened to Man United against Man City. So Liverpool pressed well, but what's important is they kept getting goals. The second goal, I think it was Firmino, right? Firmino, right? So they won. In this case, they won the ball over here in midfield. At this point, I think it was from De Bruyne who sort of gave the ball, who lost the ball and didn't really chase back as well. And it was a beautiful pass from Chamberlain to thread to here. Firmino and Stones, they battled it out. Firmino was too strong for Stones. A lot of suggestion that it was a foul. Maybe, but defenders, they do all of this stuff in the box themselves. So it's about time. I mean, it's good that Firmino got benefit of the doubt and a beautiful finish. So again, it came the play in transition, which is the second thing I've written here. So in football, you have three main phases, which is the defense phase when you're defending, the offense phase when you're attacking, and the transition phase. So there's a defense to offense transition, and there's an offense to defense transition. So when defense to offense is when you have the ball, you're building up the play, and then you move into transition, and then you move to the offense. Offense to defense transition is just you were on offense, you lost the ball, you have to transition back into your positions, and you have to defend. So most of the goals in football happen in these transition periods because it's when the defending team is out of position, right? So as I said earlier, City already are very high up the pitch because that's how they like to prevent counters. So when Chamberlain threaded the ball through, actually City were well prepared. Stones were there, Otamendi was there. They were there to deal with the ball, but Firmino basically out-muscled Stones and then had a fabulous finish to give them a 2-1 lead. And after that, basically City just sort of lost a bit of their composure. They started just going gung-ho and gave a few more chances to Liverpool, which was followed by Mane again. Liverpool winning the ball back in midfield, back in the transition phase, and pushing on and scoring the third goal with Mane. A beautiful finish with his left foot. He had hit the post earlier before that. So the third part I've written here is goals. Now when a team is pressing and pressing well, it saps a lot of energy. It takes out a lot of energy. And if the pressing does not result into a lot of chances, a lot of goals, of course the energy is going to lower, the morale is going to lower, but keep scoring goals gives them more sort of energy to press, more motivation to press, more morale to press, keeps their morale up, and they kept doing that the whole game. They did that for almost 90 minutes, and they had 35% possession. So City had most of the ball for the game, like they had about 60-70 minutes of the ball, but Liverpool still managed to press. This is why when teams play City now, when they played Barcelona, Bayern Munich, even Real Madrid, it was so hard to beat them at the top because they always had the ball, and you press them and you press them, and if nothing comes off, you get disheartened, you start to drop back deep, and that's when the other team starts to basically own you, right? But in this case, Liverpool kept the goals coming. Edison messed up, usually good with his feet, but with his little bit weaker foot, right foot, hit the ball straight to Salah, who scored a beautiful goal from here all the way inside. Amazing finish. Liverpool were up 4-1, and then Liverpool started doing what Liverpool always do, which is they stopped pressing as much. Of course, they were tired as well, but they can't defend, right? They don't have good defenders. Couple of runs from midfield when Sané beat couple of players, De Bruyne beat couple of players. They managed to get into the box. Liverpool really can't defend still. That's why they bought Van Dijk, and they conceded 2 very sloppy goals. But thankfully, they won 4-3 in the end. So the main points is pressing by Liverpool, winning the ball back in midfield, in transition, and counter-attacking, and actually finishing, getting the goals. City were also very clinical, but Liverpool were also very clinical. A couple of people really impressed me apart from the obvious people. Firmino was for one, Chan for another, and Robertson. Firmino might get mentioned a lot because he scored a goal, but I think these 3 players, and even Wijnaldum, because they did a fabulous job in pressing. Even Robertson, he was up against likes of Walker, Sterling, Aguero. Not easy for a young kid to play that well. He played fantastically well. Liverpool will lose Chan. They'll have to really replace him. They're getting Keita, but there's one player. Injuries can happen. If they want to play for 4 competitions, they need more people. So this Chan and Wijnaldum and even Ox just pressed. They all pressed together, won the ball back, made it difficult for City to clear a lot of chances. City had only 4 shots on target. They scored 3 of them, but they had 4 shots on target. They almost made it 4-4 at the end from an offside header, which wasn't called offside, so it was really close, but really glad that City lost. Right, so this has been my post-match review, post-match analysis. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Any feedback on the analysis, any comments you have, just let me know in the comments below. And enjoy. And the Manchester United Stoke game is going to be at 5 a.m. for me tomorrow. I have work from 6 a.m, so I might be able to catch only the first half. So I might not be able to do a preview or review video of that because I won't be able to watch all the 90 minutes. But for Man United versus Stoke, to be fair, I expect Man United to just completely hammer Stoke. We're at home. We just come back from a great training session at Dubai. Sanchez might be joining us. I'm going to do a video on that soon, if he does join us actually. And all that nonsense about Pep versus money by the pundits, by the journalists, complete bollocks in my opinion. But I'll cover that in another video or podcast. So stay tuned. Let me know, give me your feedback, let me know comments on the game. You can let me know what time you watched it. Was it early morning for you as well? Maybe late at night, maybe at the afternoon, maybe early morning if you're all the way in the US. Anyways, let me know. See you guys. Take care and thanks for watching.